else, Sam, I think, is the best candidate. He's well-versed, he's experienced, he's articulate, he's able to communicate our needs across all cultural and ethnic levels and educational levels as well too. He represents the heart of this community, which is largely Caribbean. When I go around with Sam, I do door-to-door with him sometimes. A lot of people know him and respect him, so they'll listen to what he has to say. So I think he's a good messenger on our behalf to bring our needs to the council, to the city council.
I want to look at your style of campaigning, because in the Caribbean you set up your platforms under the street light and you just bellow out to whomever can hear. How do you do it in America?
I actually had one opportunity to do a Caribbean-style political meeting a couple mornings ago. I was at a bus stop and I realized quite by accident that there were all these people waiting on the bus, and by the time the bus came and they got on, the sidewalk cleared. And then before the next bus came, there were another 12, 15, 20 people. So I used that opportunity to have my political meeting and let them know what I intended to do for the community and how I was different as a candidate to the others. We had even been talking about holding a campaign meeting outside of our campaign headquarters here, but we had a chat with the police and they said, no, you can't do it. So we have to do it the way that campaigns are run here in the United States, that is mailings. Mailings are extremely expensive, and that's why I appeal to the Barbadian community without the kind of success that I've had, obviously, to let us have money, to donate monies to the campaign, because mailings are very expensive. We rely on mailings, on posters, both posters on poles and posters in stores. You see very few people with posters on poles now because candidates were fined so heavily in 2005. We were fined almost $25,000. Fortunately, the Environmental Control Board made an error in the paperwork that they submitted to the court. So we had a great attorney. He was able to get it dismissed. They will never make that mistake again. So we are not putting any posters on poles. There is one candidate, but I understand he has deep pockets. So I'm sure he understands the consequences and that he can meet those consequences. We do door-to-door on evenings, and we go to subways every morning. I believe I'm the only candidate doing door-to-door. The other candidates are relying on mailings and robocalls, phone calls, and so on.
When you look at the Caribbean today, what's your commentary about the Caribbean in 2009?
I am very aware of the fact that the Caribbean has been very affected by this world economic downturn. So I am more sympathetic. I'm no longer living in the Caribbean. I'm very sympathetic to the responsibilities of Caribbean leaders to being able to provide I wouldn't even say a high standard of living, but now a comfortable standard of living until Caribbean countries can recover from what is not of their doing. And I read every now and again that a lot of Caribbean countries have not even begun to feel the full effect of the recession as yet. We're feeling it here in the United States. And as you know, we've always said in Barbados, when the United States coughs, we catch a cold. And I suppose because of the great distance between the United States and the Caribbean, it's taken a little longer for that effect to be felt in the Caribbean, but it is going to happen. And I'm not critical of Caribbean governments at all. I'm very sympathetic with the situation that they're in. I look forward to being elected to City Council because I know as a City Council member, I can be very useful in a very effective way to Caribbean leaders. After all, the City Council manages New York City. And as I said earlier, a budget of $66 billion is not the kind of money that you scoff at. So there's a lot that I can do for not just the government of Barbados, but for the governments of other Caribbean countries. And having spent so much time with Caribbean political leaders and having traveled so much throughout the Caribbean, I'm a Caribbean person. I'm a Barbadian first. My father's Trinidadian, so I guess I'm Trinidadian second, but I'm a Caribbean person. I want to make sure that I provide an opportunity for people who have come here from the Caribbean in search of a brighter tomorrow and in search of the American dream, that they're able to see that dream in real life and in their lifetime.
And now that we've come to the end of our interview, I'd like to just ask you one last question. What is it that you now know for sure?
I know that I'm getting older. I know that I've been blessed with tremendous talents by God. I am thankful for those talents and those blessings. I've had some experiences over the last year or two that tells me that God has a purpose for me here. I believe I know what that purpose. I do not know for sure, but I believe I know what that purpose is. The fact that even though I'm running against someone who has the endorsement of every union, the fact that I have the support of so many influential persons and so many ordinary persons tells me that there's something my master, my God, has for me that he may not have fully communicated to me as yet, or maybe he has communicated it and I do not fully understand, but daily or monthly or yearly, I'm able to see more. You know, they say that as human beings, we only use a minute percentage of our brains, but every now and again there's this opening and we have access to the wonders of the world and to information that we never thought we had access to. I know for sure that I've been blessed. And I know for sure that a responsibility that I've been given is to ensure that I share the knowledge that I have. I share what blessings I have. I share the opportunities that I've had access to with other people. That's why in the college system, I'm referred to as a mentor. I want to make sure that opportunities that are created for our young people are there, in much the same way that Errol Barrow, created those opportunities for me as a young person. I just want to, I want to give, but I also want to be comfortable as I give. And the two, people may say, marry the two shall meet. I'm never going to accumulate the wealth that I could have accumulated, but I can be comfortable in what I do.